There's a bunch of things about dairy that we talk about amongst the inner circle of people that deal with food and vegans and juice bars and whatnot. So, when you talk about drinking a cold glass of cow's milk, I mean, that's just vile to me. But I don't think that's a popular thing in New York. There's no milk store. You just walk in and say, "Can I get a glass of milk?" So I don't think that's the issue. I think people, when they think about dairy, they think about eating cheese, pizza, a little squirt of milk in their coffee, Parmesan cheese on top of their delicious pasta. In that way, I don't think there's too many people in our circle that are just gulping down 8 ounces of milk in a serving, except it is a popular food group for children in public school to open up a paper container of homogenized, pasteurized milk from a cow. And overall, the whole program of consuming milk is really not born from a real logical scientific perspective. It's more based on what's been taught to people from a lifetime of hearing the dairy industry that says milk does the body good. So the first thing is, human milk is good for the human baby, and cow's milk is good for the cow baby, the calf, and so on, right? Camel's milk for a camel, whale's milk for a whale. There's a reason that those things work well in those animals is because of the size of those animals at birth and the size that they're trying to grow to in a very rapid time. Human beings are only born at between 6 and 8 pounds, and what are we trying to grow to? 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 25 pounds? Whereas a cow is born at, say, 50, 60 pounds, and depending on if it's male or female, it's trying to grow to 900 to 1,500 pounds in less than a year, year and a half. So there's something in the milk that's stimulating that much growth. And if you're drinking cow's milk as a youth and certainly as an adult with that much growth stimulation with nowhere really to grow, you're not going to become 1,500 pounds or be 7'11" because you're drinking milk. With that much stimulation in growth, it really actually just converts into irritation, not growth or stimulation in a positive way. That irritation causes an inflammatory response. It also causes the secretion of mucus inside the body's internal lining system. And the problem with the secretion of mucus is a great breeding ground for a host of different bacterium, fungus, viruses. This is where the immune system begins to become compromised. Additionally, the irritation causes the response mechanism as a survival mechanism of inflammation. Inflammation could be on a cellular level, or it can be on a tissue level, it could be on an organ level. The inflammation is designed to protect the organism, but if a body remains chronically inflamed, then the cells or the tissue or the organ cannot carry out its regularly programmed, scheduled function, which causes a problem, obviously, in the organism not to be able to do what it's supposed to do. So dairy actually is valuable for the newborn because when a child is born, whether it's an animal or a human, generally speaking, its digestive system is undeveloped and it needs time to develop. And so you need food that will immediately provide energy, protein for growth, necessary sugars for energy, probiotics for the immune system. The mother passes on her immune system through her milk. But at the point where you're not growing, these are not necessarily vital things anymore. You don't need that much protein as a fully grown adult in any animal kingdom. So overall, dairy is not the right way to go. Now, if you're going to consume dairy, you probably want to consume dairy from an animal that's a similar size to yourself. So sheep and goat's milk is a little bit more bioidentical compared to a human size. And the aged cheeses are generally safer because the growth-inducing hormones have time to diminish in their strength because of the time that they've been aging. But certainly, a person with inflammatory illnesses like rheumatoid arthritis, any type of inflammatory disease, would want to avoid inflammatory foods such as dairy. Whether it's a sprinkle of Parmesan on top of your pasta, which the pasta itself is a problem, or it's an ounce of milk in your coffee, these things have an impact on your chemistry in a negative way. So it's best to avoid them in the first place. Dairy,